1, 2, 3, go. How to make sure that you are consistent also in your level of motivation. So not having 1 week that's amazing and one that's terrible, but be on top a bit longer.
Yeah, way better at explaining it than I was.
No, that's perfect. Just rephrasing it to understand if I've understood. So, is there anyone else that at times feels, oh my God, this week was amazing, and then next week, oh, a bit down, and then, oh, amazing again. Why? And you don't really know what's going on. Okay, that's very, very normal. But it's something that absolutely, when mastered, allows you to improve so many things. And I will start by quoting a TV series, okay? Because at lunch, I always watch a TV episode of something, or a part of an episode, it depends on how much time I have. And today I was watching an episode in which there was a guy that is always made fun of in the series. And at a certain point, another guy says, but can I ask you, how do you do it? So how can you be so happy when everyone keeps mocking you, making fun of you, and you just keep the spirit? And he's like, I used to get very upset. And then one day, he's a detective, One day I went to, weird, I never watched things about detectives. One day I went to a site where there was an accident. Wait, let me mute someone. Okay. Where there was an accident. The car was destroyed, but there was a bumper, a sticker there, that was saying, happiness is a choice. There, I had my breakthrough. And from then on, I decided I would be happy no matter what. And that was his breakthrough, no? At times we wish it was that simple, but reality is that it is that simple. It's just a matter of choosing. What we need to keep in mind, in our heart, tattoo on us, wherever you want, like a post-it, screenshot, whatever, is that when we are not happy, there's only one reason why we are not happy. Do you know what it is? That
we are choosing not to be.
We are choosing not to be because it's giving us an advantage. It's more convenient for us not to be happy in that moment, rationally. So, our mind has one purpose above everything else, and it is to protect us. So what will our mind do? It will do anything in its power to protect us, also when that means making us unhappy. When our mind needs to choose between protection or happiness, it goes for protection. So, when we are not happy, when we feel down, it's because our mind sees it as the best way to protect us that week, given that we're talking about weeks, okay? Or that day, that minute, that moment. So what do we need to understand? We need to learn how to do what we've been talking about for a while, no? And my instructor always mentions it, the scientific analysis. Okay, what is the scientific analysis? It's detaching yourself from the situation or looking at yourself from the outside and observe, what are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? With zero judgment. When you put judgment in it, hey, that's not scientific. We are human beings. We act, we do stuff. We make a lot of mistakes daily. It's countless mistakes, and that's perfectly fine. But if we learn how to look at ourselves from the outside and say, okay, wait, I made that mistake. What was I thinking? What was I protecting myself from? Okay, do I really need that protection? So do I really need to be sad or to be lazy or not to do the things that I said I will, to sabotage myself just to be safer? When we sabotage ourselves, for example, what are we protecting ourselves from?
Failure.
Diane, sorry, I didn't hear.
You're a failure.
Usually it's failure. So I'm scared that I may fail. So what do? I don't do it in the first place. So I can't say that I failed. For our mind, it's much easier to say, listen, I failed because I was lazy, rather than saying I failed because I wasn't able to. And so at that point, we prefer not doing things to avoid the disappointment, as Christine is mentioning as well. Absolutely. So it's very, very important to understand that our mind is not bad. It's just doing its best to protect us. Imagine, do you know someone that's very protective of you? At least one person in your life? Are they always right in the choices that they would like you to take? Not always, okay? But they do it with a lot of heart because they want to protect you. Your mind is like that part of you that constantly tries to protect you without realizing that comfort doesn't equal happiness. Safety, constant safety, not trying things and not throwing yourself into what you want, doesn't equal happiness. In the moment in which you decide to be happy, and you just say, like the guy in the TV series, you know what? From now on, I'll be happy, no matter what. Does it mean that no problems will come your way? Yes or no? No, we wish. But we don't wish, because when we're happy, we look at problems and we learn something from those problems. When we are happy, we are in that emotional state that allows us to look at that problem and say, hey, what are you here to teach me? Let me learn something and move on. Okay? But with that kind of attitude, rather than, oh my God, no, now I have a problem. How do I do? I had that goal, but I won't achieve it. No. Look, I'm happy anyway, whether I achieve that goal or not. Honestly, guys, I think that we have all built so many relationships, amazing relationships with others, just only for being here already, that all the basic needs are sorted. So when someone is a bit struggling with money, I mean, we live in London, most of us, no? And there are people that at times are like, no, but I lost my job, or right now in London, it's a bit of a weird situation. The rent is always super high, but there are no jobs around and less than before. And I'm like, okay, for sure, if everything goes bad, it's not that you finish under a bridge. But why? That's another Italian idiom. But to say, it's not that you will lose everything. But why? Because you have built relationships, and those are a great resource. If your heart is at peace, because our heart, when we are scared, super, super scared about something, we don't reason anymore. We get into flight or fight mode. If you know that you can be at peace and say, okay, worst case, okay, I'll couch surf for a few days and I'll get myself back on track. And then at that point, what happens is usually you don't even need to couch surf because solutions arrive. But why? Because you are at peace, you're in that state in which you can access those solutions. You can see them. If you're too scared, you're too worried, you're too nervous, you're just running away. That's the Italian for running away. Or fighting against someone. Okay. Yes, and at times it is survival, as someone is mentioning in the chat, no? Because that's why I mentioned relationships, because when we're fighting for survival needs, like food, water, having a roof on our head, it's easier to get into that fight or flight mode. And if it is one day of fight or flight, it can also help you to set what you really want and bring out all your energy and drive to get something. But if you persist being in survival mode for too long, that's really bad for your body, for your thoughts, for your spirit, for your dreams. So it's not worth it. Okay. So I said a lot of things, but I hope I answered the question, Jessie. And begin with that. Okay.
That was perfect. Thank you.
Nice.